Morning, guys. It's Woody. So I'm leaving Denver. Right now it is 7 a.m. I've been up since about 4, just before 4 o'clock. And man, it got cold last night. And my bunk heater doesn't work. So I gotta check the fuses or something. I gotta find the fuses and then check them, because the mechanic doesn't want to do it. But anyway, yeah, so let me tell you about my morning. Okay, I'll start with last night. I think I've talked about it before. You know, I'm not a religious person. I don't go to church or anything like that, but I do pray every night. And so last night, and you know, I call it Gus, guy upstairs. You know, just makes it easier to talk to you throughout the day. But anyway, so I prayed last night, and something that I quit doing for a while was praying for patience, because in my experience, when I pray for patience, Gus gives me things to be patient with. And so last night, as soon as I you know, put it out there, I was like, oh boy, here we go. You know, so I wake up this morning and it was cold, like I said. My bunk heater's not working. My tires, because it was so cold, my tires had lost air pressure. So this little tire gauge was beeping at me for like half an hour until the pressure built up. And so I head out. Now I got the company directions, the directions they want me to take, and I took them. And I got stuck in a dead end. There was a tiny little drop yard for Walmart trailers. And I'm like, well, that's my only chance to turn around. So I started turning around in there. And I got stuck because there was one trailer that was that was parked, that was dropped in front of another trailer. So there was a trailer in front of me. If that trailer wasn't there, I would have been fine. But I got stuck. I got jackknifed. And so I call up dispatch. I was like, I'm following your guys' directions, and it got me stuck in a dead end. So eventually I got out of there. I just had to, there was a space, and I pulled into it to get my trailer straight, and I had to back out into this tiny little narrow street and get my trailer just enough in to where I could get around it. So I got around, and he's kind of navigating for me using Google Maps and stuff. So we tried a couple different spots, and I eventually found it. I found a guard shack. She told me, you know, you pull in there, you slide your tandems back, and you're just anywhere back there. Because I told her, you know, I had a drink. She's like, you have an empty? I was like, yeah. She's like, and you're picking one up? I was like, yeah. She's like, all right. So she was, I think she was just waking up too, because she was, I don't know, she couldn't finish a sentence. But anyway, so she tells me, you know, go back there, slide your tandems, drop it anywhere back there, and you come back out this shack, and you go down this road, and then there's another guard shack there. I was like, okay. So I get back there, I get my trailer dropped, and I come back out, and she's got this like bewildered look on her face. And she's like, where's your trailer? I was like, I dropped it back there. She's like, no, you're supposed to drop it right there, like across the street. I was like, oh, okay. You know, I'm like, I could have sworn, and I was on the phone with dispatch when she told me this, you know. So I'm like, I could have sworn I heard her say, drop the trailer and go across the street over there and pick up your trailer. Because there's another guard shack, blah, 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 blah. So I get my trailer, hook back up, and then I go, and across the street there's a few trailers, but there's no spots available. So I park my truck right there, and I go across the street because there's another little drop yard that says, you know, for that shipper. So I go in there, I walk over there first to see if there's any spots, and there's a few spots. So I get back in my truck, and I go over there, and I'm trying to get set up for this spot, and then here comes the security guard with the flashlight, you know, waving me down. I'm like, okay, so I'm not supposed to park it here. So I go back out, she's like, no, just park it here. I was like, all right, well, I didn't know if you could like double stack them or whatever, because a lot of places don't want you to double stack trailers. She's like, it's fine, I'll just get one of the yard dogs to come and get it. And I was like, all right, fine. So I just dropped it there, go to the other guard shack, and they didn't have my order. They didn't have the paperwork for it anyway. So I sat there and waited for a minute. He called somebody, they printed out the paperwork, so I didn't have to wait to get loaded. I just had to wait for the paperwork. Got the paperwork, found my trailer, and I back up to it. And I'm sitting there thinking in my head, okay, I'm like, well, at least I've never had problems hooking up to a trailer. And then, so I back up to it, and like there's no click. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm misaligned or whatever. And I pull forward, and I stop. So I'm like, I didn't hear that locking bar go across. I didn't hear anything click. So I get out of my truck, and the trailer is so high that the kingpin is sitting up above the fifth wheel, but it's low enough that it tips the fifth wheel just a little bit, and now my fifth wheel, or my kingpin, is in front of my fifth wheel. So I'm like, okay, how am I going to get out of this one? And I'm sitting there and I'm trying to maneuver a little bit, and I'm inching over just a little bit, because if I can get over far enough, it's got that rounded part at the fifth wheel, and I can get through it. Well, then I stop and I think about it. I was like, wait, just tilt that fifth wheel up and go through it. So that's what I did. I tilted the fifth wheel up, I pulled forward, tilted it back down, and got lined back up with it. And I looked, and whoever set that trailer had the landing gear down so far that, I mean, this thing was up above the fifth wheel probably like 6 inches, and it's fully loaded. Like, we can haul 45,000 pounds. This thing is 44,242 pounds. It's heavy, and I gotta crank this thing down to get it low enough to hit that kingpin just right to lock. So I did that. I wrestled around with it, got my morning workout, and I was laughing. I was like, all right, Gus, you're real funny, you know. Got that done, and then I had to slide my tandems, but again, it's heavy, and I couldn't get the tandems to slide. Eventually I got through it. I got that slid, and I got out of there. So I guess, I mean, it was a hassle. The whole morning it was a hassle. Like I said, I started my clock at 4 o'clock in the morning. I headed out about 4:20, 4:25, something like that. And I got there on time, but I had to leave and get scaled, and you know, I'm just getting out on the road, and I told you it's 7 o'clock. So that's like 3 hours already, and I'm just hitting the road. But so yeah, it was a hassle. But the point is, I laughed about it. Whereas normally I'd be cussing up a storm, my blood would be boiling. Like, this is ridiculous. Who dropped this trailer? You know, but I didn't do any of that. So yeah, I guess I just have to be more patient, breathe a little bit more. And another thing I prayed about was, you know, what to do with this career. Because, you know, I've been thinking about moving companies, and, you know, I'm looking up information on other companies and other people's experiences and things like that. And, you know, it seems like just about everywhere you go is, I mean, you're going to be dealing with the same stuff. One of the companies I was looking at, they, if you break down, of course that was for the lease option, and I'm not planning on doing that at all. So I don't know if this goes for company drivers as well. But if you break down, that's $450 out of your pocket, plus the time that you're not rolling, not making money. So I don't know if I like that at all. Because, I mean, granted, I've only broke down once with this company, but they didn't charge me for it. You know, I had to sit all day and wait for a mechanic, but, you know, I didn't get charged for it. And I certainly didn't get charged $450. That's kind of ridiculous. And like I said, I'm on the flat rate pay right now, which is good for those days that you're sitting. And a lot of people with this company, they'll do cents per mile until winter hits, and then they'll go flat rate because you do a lot of sitting during the winter. You've got snow and all that stuff. So winter is here almost. It's almost here. I know it's getting cold. They've had snow in a few places already. So I might not be switching to cents per mile right now, but I think I need to make that move and just go with it, because I'm not making a whole lot of money right now, and I need to be making a lot more. Probably double what I'm making right now is what I need to be making, minimum. So yeah, so I don't know if I need to move to a different company or stick with this one, because there's a lot of people with this company that love it. They've gone to other companies and then they came back to this company. So I don't know what's going on with me, if it's my DM, if it's my terminal or whatever, because that's another suggestion I get from drivers here, switch terminals. So yeah, I don't know, I'm gonna have to figure something out. And yeah, and I had an idea for another video. It has nothing to do with trucking. And it's kind of, well, it is along the lines of, you know, my belief system and my, I guess, theology or whatever, and how I got there. So, I mean, and it'll be a long one. And I have a lot of weird ideas. I'm very eclectic in my beliefs. So, if that's something you want to know about, leave it in the comments down below if that's something you're interested in hearing. And, you know, I'll put that together. But yeah, anyway, so the lesson for today is have some patience. And if you pray for patience, expect a challenge. So But hey, I was able to laugh it off. I didn't sleep a whole lot last night, but I woke up feeling good, and I got to laugh a little bit. So anyway, reach for the sky, thank a trucker, and don't put your landing gear all the way to the ground. Leave it off the ground like a little bit, half an inch. That way when you come out from under it, it drops down, and when you pull back into it, it lifts up. So anyway, that's it.